In the land of Canaan, where dry winds swept over golden hills and olive trees clung to rocky slopes, lived a man named Jacob. He had 12 sons, born to him through years of love, loss, and promise. And though he loved them all, one son captured his heart more than any other, the son of his old age, the son born to the wife he had loved most. The boy's name was Joseph. Joseph had smooth, dark hair, gentle eyes, and a spirit that seemed to shine brighter than the desert sun. There was a kindness in him, a joy that was hard to miss, and Jacob loved him deeply, too deeply. To show his affection, Jacob gave Joseph a special robe, a coat woven with threads of many brilliant colors. It shimmered like a rainbow against the dusty earth, a mark of favor visible for all to see. But the gift, though beautiful, planted seeds of bitterness. Joseph's brothers watched him with narrowed eyes. They saw the way Jacob's gaze lingered on him, the way his laughter was louder when Joseph spoke, the way his hand rested longer on Joseph's shoulder. Their hearts hardened with jealousy. One evening, Joseph approached his brothers, excitement bubbling from him. "Listen to the dream I had," he said, his voice light and eager. "We were binding sheaves of grain in the field when suddenly my sheaf stood upright, and your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to mine." The brothers exchanged glances, dark and heavy. "Do you intend to reign over us?" one of them snapped. "Will you actually rule us?" Joseph blinked, confused by their anger. He meant no harm, but they hated him all the more. Days later, another dream stirred his heart. "I had another dream," he told them, undeterred. "The sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." Even Jacob, hearing this, frowned. "What is this dream you had?" Jacob asked. "Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" Joseph lowered his gaze. He didn't understand it yet, but the dreams clung to him, vivid and alive, like visions etched into his soul. Meanwhile, his brother's jealousy smoldered into rage. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers, who were grazing flocks near Shechem. Wearing his colorful robe, Joseph set off across the dusty plains. He walked for miles under the burning sun, the hills rising and falling around him. His heart was light, unaware of the storm awaiting him. When the brothers saw him approaching from a distance, their hearts twisted into something dark. "Here comes the dreamer," one of them said, his voice thick with contempt. "Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns," another growled. "We'll say that a wild animal devoured him. Then we'll see what becomes of his dreams." But Reuben, the oldest, spoke with caution. "Let's not shed blood," he said. "Throw him into the cistern here in the wilderness. Don't lay a hand on him." Reuben secretly hoped to rescue Joseph later and bring him back to their father. When Joseph reached them, smiling and unsuspecting, they seized him roughly. His cries echoed off the stones as they tore off his beautiful robe, the robe that had set him apart. He struggled against them, reaching out, pleading, but their hands were merciless. "Please!" Joseph cried, voice breaking. "What have I done?" But his words fell on hardened hearts. They dragged him to a dry cistern, a pit carved deep into the earth, and threw him in. He hit the bottom hard, dust and rocks scattering around him. Bruised and frightened, Joseph looked up at the circle of sky far above him. He called out again and again until his voice was hoarse, but they turned away, their backs as cold as the pit walls surrounding him. They sat down to eat their meal as if nothing had happened, their laughter carried by the desert wind. As they ate, a caravan of Ishmaelite merchants appeared on the horizon, their camels laden with spices, balm, and myrrh, heading toward Egypt. Judah, one of the brothers, leaned in. "What will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood?" he said. "Come, let's sell him to these Ishmaelites. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." The others agreed. They pulled Joseph up from the pit. His legs trembled beneath him. His wrists were bound roughly with coarse rope. He looked into the faces of his brothers, hoping, begging silently. But all he saw was stone. Before he could speak, they handed him over to the traders. For 20 pieces of silver, the price of a slave, they sold their own brother. As the caravan led him away, Joseph turned back again and again, searching for one last flicker of mercy. But there was none. The camels moved south, dust rising from their hooves. Joseph stumbled along in chains, the hot sand burning his feet. His colorful robe, once his pride, once a symbol of love, lay crumpled in the dirt behind him. The traders spoke in a language he didn't understand. The road stretched endlessly ahead, and fear tightened in his chest. Where was God now? Had he abandoned him? Yet deep in Joseph's heart, the dream still flickered, small, battered, but alive. The brothers took his robe, stained it with the blood of a young goat, and carried it home. They handed it to Jacob without speaking. "We found this," they said. "Examine it to see whether it is your son's robe." Jacob clutched the bloody fabric with trembling hands. His eyes, once bright with hope, clouded with anguish. "It is my son's robe," he wept. "A wild animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces." Grief poured from Jacob like a flood. He tore his clothes, wrapped himself in sackcloth, and collapsed to the ground, mourning louder than the winds themselves. His cries echoed into the hills, refusing to be comforted. My son, he cried. "I will go down to the grave mourning." And no one, not his sons, not his daughters, could ease the sorrow that weighed down his soul. Meanwhile, far away, Joseph was led deeper into a foreign land, the walls of Egypt rising in the distance, golden, vast, and unknown. He carried no robe, no status, no power, only the battered dreams God had placed inside him, dreams that even chains could not silence. Joseph's story reminds us that betrayal may break the heart, but it cannot break the destiny God has woven. Joseph did not understand why he suffered. His dream seemed cruel in the face of chains. Yet God was preparing him, even in the pit, even on the dusty roads of slavery. There will be moments when your dreams seem crushed under the weight of betrayal, loneliness, and fear. But remember, the dream was never yours alone. It was planted by God Himself, and He does not abandon what He plants. Hold on. The journey is not the end. It is only the beginning. Help spread God's message. Leave a like, share, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to experience more.